Yeah, guys, welcome to my The Buzz debate show. I know this is obviously a bit earlier than I was going to do it. Thought about doing it maybe a bit later on, but other things are happening. I've got a cricket stream later as well, so thought I'd try and make this earlier for a change, although obviously might not have quite so many people watching or in the live chat or whatever, but thought I'd do this earlier for a change. But anyway, supposed to be having a guest on. I don't know where he is at the moment. Hopefully, he will be on soon. Apologies, I was having trouble with my Wi-Fi. That's why I'm slightly later than I wanted to be. But I'm only really going to try and make this at least an hour or less today. Be fairly quick. And, hopefully we'll get somebody in the live chat, or I might just put the link in there and see if anyone does want to come on. I'll just do that, guys. Just put the link in and see. Yep, put the link there. So if anyone comes into the live chat and wants to join, you're welcome. As I say, hopefully I might have a guest on fairly soon. But obviously I'll try and get into all these, and we're going to start off with the usual ref watch. I mean, there's been a lot of incidents over the weekend, and obviously I'll be talking about Man City, of course. They're in real trouble, real shit. So I'll be going into all that as well, talking about all that. And but first, there's the link, by the way, guys. If you do want to come in, do want to join. Also, I'm going to ref watch first. Quite a few more incidents, as we know, happened over the weekend. So I'll bring this up and go into this a bit. Here we go. It's coming, guys. There we go. And so what do we all make of this? I mean, well, ref watch here, Dermot Gallagher does all this, assesses the weekend's major Premier League incidents. And this is one of them, the first one, about Kearney was sent off, of course, for Fulham. Dermot analysis Saints Kearney calls. The ref watch panel discussed one of the biggest talking points in the Premier League from the weekend as Cameron Archer's winning goal. Oh, that of course as well. Winning goal for Southampton against Brighton was ruled out for offside. As Alan Armstrong was interfering with play, I still think that's, I'm not sure what to make of that. I wish I could show it on here, but obviously it'd be copyright or whatever. Don't think I'd get away with showing that. I wish I could. But fact is, I think the goal would have stood. They said if he hadn't flicked at it, I think it's Armstrong. When the ball came in, he wouldn't. Adam Armstrong flicked at the ball behind him. Apparently, I still don't think it was enough to warrant that. I thought the goal should have stood. I think this is just getting too, I don't know, they're really, really picking things out of it, and I just think it should have been allowed. He wasn't really interfering. The ball was behind him. Yeah, okay, maybe he shouldn't try to flick it behind him. He wasn't even going to get it. I don't know why he did. But then again, could you say it's really interfering? I don't think. I think it should have stood, the goal. It's a shame we haven't got anyone in the live chat, because obviously I would like to see what people think, comments and stuff. But anyone watching this obviously on live or obviously playback, because you could put a comment in, leave a comment there what you think. I actually think the goal should have stood. Really picking hairs out of this, and I think, I don't know, as obviously VAR as well involved with, as we know. I thought this was very harsh. I really thought the goal should have stood. Then, of course, it would have been Southampton winning. They would have won the game. An important victory for them. An important 3 points. So they really were pissed off with that, I'm sure. Russell Martin definitely was. But let's I'll see what my guest thinks of it, Manny. He's here. Be up to you, Mr. T. Apologies, my friend. I had issues with the Wi-Fi. I wanted to get on a bit earlier, so apologies for that.
Yeah, let me also say sorry for being about 5 minutes late. I had to go down and make some tea. And yeah, good to be back on. A lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully I didn't miss too much, though, because I think you were on for about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, really just doing the ref watch at the moment, mate, and discussing the Southampton game. I thought that goal was harshly disallowed through Armstrong, apparently, because he flicked it when it was behind him. He done a back flick with his foot. But I still don't think that was enough to disallow that. I really don't. It was really harsh. And it would have been 3 points for Southampton, which they badly need, wouldn't it?
Well, don't forget that even if Southampton had won that, they still would have finished bottom. I'm not too sure. I mean, whenever there's a ref watch, you've got to have a referee, obviously, giving his opinion. And the way I would look at it was that obviously our first instinct when we were watching that was that the goal did look quite good. It didn't seem an obvious offside, but Armstrong was in a bit of an offside position. And obviously they were checking every single thing to take a look and see whether Armstrong was doing something. And it would have had to have been something really, 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 pivotal. And when you talk about interfering with the play, it can be anything from touching the ball to, I suppose, doing something really deliberate to throw the goalkeeper off, as it were. Now, my first instinct as well was probably that it looked a little bit harsh. But when you sort of take a look at that, maybe the VAR people thought, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with them, maybe they thought that there was a little bit of a touch of the ball when Armstrong was there, and it just went straight to I think it was it Archer who scored that goal, or yeah, it was Downs who equalised, and Archer was the one who scored that goal that was disallowed. And I think maybe they thought that since Armstrong had touched it, that sort of counts as an interference with play. So, I thought personally that decision was a little bit harsh, and normally in decisions like that, you probably would give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking side. It didn't look as though there was any blatant interruption of play, but obviously there's some commentary on that. You can please read that if you like, mate.
Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah. Yeah, it's saying here, this is obviously Sue and Stephen's view, Stephen Warnock on Ref Watch, and of course Sue Smith. If you're in front of goal, you're affecting the movements of defenders and goalkeepers. If you make a run, the goalkeeper and defender will make a run based off that movement. If you say they're not active, they are. They're causing issue. I don't think it should be allowed. The correct decision was made. By the rules, Sue Smith said, by the rules and the laws of the game, yeah, it's the correct decision. But I feel sorry for Southampton because it's such a good goal. Also, would the goalkeeper have got there? Does it affect him that much? Would he have saved it anyway? I'm siding with her, but then obviously this is Dermot Gallagher's view. By the letter of the law, yes, it should have been ruled out. And then it comes down to a matter of the opinion. The on-field decision was offside. I can't say it's wrong because the VAR backs him. Yeah, should Southampton's... Oh, well,
there you have it. It's that dreaded letter of the law. And there just doesn't seem to be any shade of grey there. So I think we sort of have to say that it was bad luck to the Saints. The officials were sinners, but they have showed in these past two games against Liverpool and now Brighton that they do have enough about them to start playing a little bit better. It's just that defensively, like other teams in the Premiership, they tend to be completely all over the shop. In fact, when Mitoma scored that goal, the gap that was left for Mitoma to sort of just walk right in there and just power that header past Joe Lumley, who started because Alex McCarthy had a bit of a knee issue.
It wasn't absolutely fabulous.
The gaps in fence were just so alarming. Until Martin would have been tearing his hair out, going back to his home.
I don't think Lumley was absolutely fabulous, was he, in goal, to be honest? So, it's funny his name's Joe Lumley, isn't it? But anyway,
good one.
Yeah. I was going to say there was no Dawn French there either. So, but no. But anyway, no, it was as you say, it was. I don't know. I still thought it was harsh that disallowing of that goal. I really do. I don't think he done a lot. I mean, really, he shouldn't have flicked it anyway. It's behind him, Armstrong. Maybe he thought he was still walking on the moon or something. So maybe. But anyway, I just
well,
it was.
If that's the case, Giant accept what he.
Yeah. There we go. The police now. Yeah. Yeah, we do like our song titles, don't we, Manny? But yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was really harsh, and I think Southampton would have liked that to get the 3 points. Would have been important for them. Yeah, okay, as you say, they might not go off the bottom, but they still needed the 3 points, really. I mean, okay, they'll take a point. They've taken that point, but really, it's 3 points they need, isn't it?
Absolutely. And once again, they're going to have to look back at their defense. And at the risk of sounding like a little bit of a footballing Scrooge, I think we all have to accept that if you want to play a very expansive game, you've got to make sure that your defending is a lot more spot on. And, defenses don't just win you championships. They can definitely, do so much more for you in terms of helping you set a platform to have a much better season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. But getting on to this next one now, so we kind of thought, do we both think that was harsh, or do you think that was right to disallow it or not?
You're talking about the Forest Ipswich one?
No,
the Brighton South.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as harsh as it sounds, it was the right decision. And when you've got all of these people saying that according to the letter of the law, it had to be done, I think that pretty much says it all. And even Gallagher, who wasn't exactly the best referee in his time, he ends up saying that the law was correctly applied. So as harsh as it was on Armstrong, Archer, and Southampton, the goal had to be disallowed. And Aaron Ramsdale can say whatever he likes, but he knows that when you're dealing with the letter of the law and you have VAR there, VAR was pretty much meant to try and ensure that the law was, for what it's worth, fairly and correctly applied. And I'll tell you what, if that goal had stood, Herzl and company would have really been hurting, not to mention hopping mad.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a bit disappointed with Brighton as well, to be honest. I thought they would have gone and won this 1-0 up as well. Playing really well. Got a good manager there in Hertzler. I think they're playing some good stuff. Very good team. I was disappointed with them, to be honest. Luca's in here. Big up, Luca. My friend. Big up to you. Yes, Manny. Yeah, Luca's saying there. And Mr. B. Yeah, I'll put the link in here. If you are available, Luca, you're welcome on, mate. I've got the link there. If you want to join us, you're welcome, mate. So if you're available and around, you want to come on, give your opinion on any of this, what you think with the referees and that, then you're welcome to, my friend. So, but anyway, getting on to this one, was Forest penalty versus Ipswich fair? Nottingham Forest were given a penalty in the second half after Sammy Schmodix caught Jota Silva in the box. Tony Harrington gave the decision on field with VAR agreeing. Sky Sports' Dermot Gallagher, it's a foul, he catches him. I don't know why Schmodix has to make the foul, he does catch him. If the referee gives a penalty for that, it's going to stand. What do you make of that, Manny?
Self-explanatory. Smolish is the guilty party. He knows that he was wrong. And I think it's fair to say that his coach will not be doing Lauren Bacall saying, play that again, Sam. So, nothing to discuss, really.
It's pretty straightforward, that one, wasn't it? Definite penalty. Right. Was Philogene dive a case of simulation? Yeah, I think it was. Looking at it, I thought he went down too easy. Aston Villa thought they should have been given a penalty when Jane Philogene went down under Enzo Fernandez's challenge. Referee Stuart Atwell put the Villa forward for simulation. Sky Sports, Dermot Gallagher, very good spot. The ball just runs away from Philogene and he realises he can't get it. So he takes a chance. Yellow card, no, not a foul, it's simulation. Exactly. But they don't book them enough for this, Manny, do they? This simulation.
Yeah, they probably don't. And if it's blatant simulation, then, yeah, it deserves a card. And Philogene can have no credits. And that was just another sore point in what was a rather sore Aston Villa performance. That's now, I think, 8 consecutive games they've gone without a win. You can say that in some of those games they've been sort of mucked over by some poor decisions. With Bournemouth, the opening goal that they did score in the first half should have been allowed because the ball did not cross the line in its entirety, the goal line. And against Juventus, well, I remember really being delighted when Morgan Rogers scored that goal, but then when the referee chalked it off for a supposed foul on the Juventus goalkeeper Di Gregorio, I was absolutely livid, as you could see in the chat.
Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
And perfectly, they're poor this season. I wouldn't say poor this entire season, though. I think they're going through a very, very bad run. And for what it's worth, they do have some games coming up against the likes of Southampton where they should expect to get some points. I know Archer will want to play spoilsport when he comes back. And I know that, Mr. B, you'll be very...
They got us next, Manny. They got
absolutely,
us next. No.
I was going to say... that, and I actually would say that with likes of Visser and, of course, Sade in great form, the smooth operator as you've advertised, Aston Villa are not going to have it all easy. But I think we can all agree that the fact that Neil Maupay won't be involved will be a bit of a relief. No more of this craphousery nonsense and all that. Tell boy!
Yeah, Darren, what's the crack? What's the bleeding story, fella? How you doing, fella? Oh, you enjoyed it.
We need to get him on one of these streams. I know, obviously, that it's half. I think it's going to be two in the afternoon, 1:45 in the afternoon in the UK and Ireland. He might be busy at work, but one of these days, Dell, if you can come on, mate, we'd love to have you on.
Big up AK there, the City fan. Yeah, you're in real shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about that very soon. about your club.
Yeah. But anyway,
In,
back to the ref watch. Philogene booking was definitely well deserved, and you know that was one thing which Aston Villa were not going to get away with. But they have been mucked over by the referee on one or two occasions during this run. For what it's worth, they do have some games where they will certainly fancy their chances of being able to get their confidence. Even I have to say this. Sorry, AK. As poor as Aston Villa look, you just take a look at them and say that they're only one really good performance away from getting back in. And with the if they get some momentum, I think even City might be under threat. But definitely. But is that all the we have for now, Steve, or are there any more?
Oh, there are a few more, yeah. I just wish they'd get booked more for that simulation. They do it too much, these players, and they really do get away with it, most of them. I hate it. I really do. If you're going to actually dive, you're going to simulate.
Yes, I agree.
I think should be on stage. Anyway, should Chelsea's first goal have stood?
Yeah.
Aston Villa were unhappy with Chelsea's first goals, thinking that Mark Cucurella had fouled Jaden Philogene in the build-up to Nicholas Jackson's strike. Sky Sports Dermot Gallagher, Cucurella wins the ball. There's no doubt he gets there first. Philogene comes in and actually catches Cucurella. So it's the other way round, not a foul. What do you make of that, mate?
I think Gallagher says it. And obviously BBC Sport were sort of... I wasn't able to see the game because I decided to go and have a nice little leg day where I did some leg presses and deadlifts, but I was taking a look at some of the updates. And I think, Aston Villa were literally fit to tide because Philogene was down and out for the count after that challenge. But it was sort of ruled a bit of a coming together more than anything else. And obviously Cucurella was able to make hay down that left-hand side for Chelsea. And obviously, even with Cash and Konsa back fit, there's always going to be a danger when you rush defenders back in when they're not quite fit, maybe. And that's sort of how it's proved. And that proved to be a really, really good goal. So, no complaints. Aston Villa were just absolutely dire in that game. And they are going to have to make sure they turn it around ASAP. Be against Brentford. I could even go so far to say that it'll be a draw, but they should beat Southampton.
Yeah, definitely. I know you're there, AK. I'm just, I'm thinking, mate, if you could come on when I get to the City one, it'd be better because obviously I'd like to get your opinion on the Man City issue. So I'll be doing that after this ref watch anyway. So I could bring you on then, mate, if that's okay with you. I'll just bring you in then. I think that'd be better, really, to discuss it with him then. When I get to that. So hopefully you're okay with that, AK. I know you're there, man. But I will definitely bring you in for the Man City because I definitely want your opinion. Because in shit. Anyway, were Liverpool right to get penalty versus City? Liverpool were given a late penalty when Luis Diaz was brought down by Stefan Ortega. Chris Kavanagh gave the penalty which sealed the points for the Reds. Sky Sports Derek Gallagher, it's a penalty, no doubt it's a penalty, but City aren't happy because Salah is offside. But he doesn't touch the ball and he doesn't interfere with play. He goes away from the ball and he's not in the direct line of the forward or the goalkeeper. No offence committed, penalty. Well, what about that one, Manny?
Always, the little technicalities of whether or not you are supposedly interfering with play. And just goes to show that when you're Mohamed Salah, you've played long enough in the Premiership for both Liverpool and Chelsea to know how to sort of, avoid getting yourself offside, as it were. Now, maybe it would be fair to say that if Ortega hadn't have made that challenge, Diaz probably would have found himself, maybe away from the goal, so he would have had to pass to Salah, and then maybe, in that case, Salah would have been adjudged to have been offside. But again, if you are offside but not really involved with the play, then that can't really be used as a means of trying to disallow a goal or a penalty awarded. So in the end, it was the right call, I would say. And Ortega, who came in for the dropped Edison, and I think, as AK will probably say, he might be one of those players who could be on his way out, and we will talk about that. But Ortega can have no complaints because I don't think he was able to get the ball. He did, impinge on Diaz's movement. So penalty. No ifs, no buts, no walnuts.
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%. And here we go to your game, Manny. There was Fabianski's punch on Gabriel a penalty? I think it's football, not UFC. A definite penalty. Arsenal were given a second penalty to make it 5-2 just before half time when Lucas Fabianski was adjudged to have punched Gabriel in the face. And he did. Sky Sports, Dermot Gallagher, good spot. The referee spots it. We saw the Manchester United versus Wolves. Wolves won last season when Andre Onana did it, and it wasn't spotted. That was an outrage. Then there was one later in last season when Onana was penalised against Burnley. Referees are more diligent about this. It was a penalty. And it was, wasn't it, Manny?
It was because, again, the technicality was that Gabriel got the ball first and Fabianski was a little bit late in trying to, go for it. And it's a tricky one as well in some ways. Obviously, David Seaman being a goalkeeper himself and also having played for Arsenal and played times against the Hammers, because, when you are a goalkeeper, you do have a right. But you've also got to make sure as a goalkeeper that you get your timing spot on if you want to punch it. And Fabianski got his timing completely wrong. There's no malice in it. Let's get it clear. Fabianski never with an attempt to try to, throw an absolute haymaker and lead Gabriel out for the count. He wanted to try to get the ball. It was an honest attempt, but he just made it a little bit too late, and he ended up catching Gabriel, and Gabriel ended up having to be taken off as an injury precaution with Kivior brought on. A bit of a surprise, ironically, that, we kept a clean sheet in the second half. That was probably because we didn't feel like, trying to go for the jugular. We were already 5-2 up. And, when you replace a stronger defender with a weak defender, you're not going to go, all out, leaving gaps at the back, especially if that Kivior cannot be trusted. And Mikel Arteta, shame on you. You include Kieran Tierney in the squad, taking the Mikel, I would say, and you're not going to give him a single minute. I'm just glad you didn't give him a heck with you. But in fact, there was no malice, but let's says that a penalty had to be awarded. And could Fabianski have stopped that? Well, it did hit his hand. And maybe if he had timed his dive a little bit better, obviously he's not as young as he used to be, but maybe he could have stopped that, but it was still, I actually think it wasn't the best penalty, and maybe he should have stopped that. But, that's Arsenal for you. When things go your way, they just go your way.
Oh, you're on about the Saka one where he should have saved it? Yeah, I think he should have saved that. Be right back,
Steve.
No worries, mate. No worries. Cool. Yeah, it's all right, AK. Don't worry, man. Don't worry, buddy. I will bring you on. I'm just, I think it's just going through this with Manny to start with, and then I'll bring you on when we start talking about Man City, because obviously you being a City fan. It affects you a lot, so obviously want to get your opinion on it. I value your opinion, being a fan, and of course this probably is frustrating you at the moment with what's going on there. Like to hear what you think about Pep at the moment. He seems to be going through, could he be having issues himself, mental issues, or You know, he had that thing the other day, he was scratched on the head and things. I don't know if that was a bust up with, was it maybe Haaland? I don't know. Did he have a bust up with Haaland? Like to hear your thoughts on that, or he had a bust up with somebody, or might have done it to himself, maybe. You know, because when we're all getting in this shit, I think it's the first time really in the Premier it's happened to him here. And it's obviously getting to him. And he's probably, well, he might not have had that in his entire football career. He's had all this dip and everything, crisis, you know. So it'd be interesting to see what you think, but obviously I'll bring Manny back and yeah, so we were talking about that penalty, the Bukayo Saka. Yeah, I thought it was a poor penalty. Really, he should have saved it, Fabianski, but, you know. I mean, the Odegaard penalty was brilliant, I thought. Fantastic penalty, the first one. Cracker, brilliant. I don't know what happened with Saka there. Why he, I mean, I know he did score, so he can't really, you know, have a go at him too much. But it weren't the greatest of penalties, was it, Manny?
No, it wasn't. And I think, you know, he's taken some really good penalties this season, so maybe he was due an off one, and, you know, he scored this one, and so I think he'll be happy with that. Just has to learn not to, you know, direct it so close to the goalkeeper next time. I think it is fair to say that a much faster and more agile goalkeeper will save that penalty. And we all know about whom I'm talking. But yeah, so yeah, no complaints. That was a definite penalty. It wasn't the best penalty that was taken, but it was a goal nonetheless. And you know, Fabianski has done quite well for West Ham since replacing Alphonse Areola. But conceding 5 at home, it's never going to be a good look. But West Ham can take heart. It wasn't Declan Rice didn't score.
Right. Right, this one. Should Arsenal's first goal have stood? West Ham felt Arsenal's first goal from Gabriel's...
Once again, I can't hear you, so I'll have to come back in a minute.
All right, anyway, I'll read this, and then once Manny comes back, he can talk about it, hopefully. Yeah, should Arsenal's first goal have stood? West Ham felt Arsenal's first goal from Gabriel's header corner should have been disallowed because Julian Timber fouled Lucas Paqueta in the set piece. Sky Sports Dermot Gallagher, it was spotted because I heard the VAR say it was checking. It looks worse because Paqueta raises his arms in the air. It's not a foul. No, I'd say not. I'd say it's valid goal, should stand. I'm glad it stood because it was fine. There was no issue there, I don't think. Obviously, find out what Manny thinks, but Luca there talks ball. Arsenal goal, yes, I say was given. Yeah, no issue with it really. Not really a foul. Yeah, he's Manny. So, what's your thoughts on this, Mr. T? Was there a foul there? Was it right to stand this goal, the first goal?
You mean the Gabriel header?
Yeah.
Didn't see anything wrong with it, to be honest. What was the issue, though?
Well, they're saying a foul on Paqueta or something here. He raises his arms in the air. It's not a foul. Dermot Gallagher. When you see these things happen, they're always pushing and pulling. There's so much going on, isn't there, in the area? I mean, if you keep giving penalties for it, though, we'd have penalties every game, wouldn't we? Loads of penalties in every game. The way it goes on,
Not really. Not really, no. But sometimes, referees are smart to know when there's actual foul play being, carried out, or whether it's just a case of your typical argy-bargy there. And the biggest issue is that West Ham miserably failed on several occasions to mark Gabriel from a corner because they know that when it comes to corners and set pieces, Gabriel is the man. Scored against Sporting Lisbon, scored against West Ham, scored several other times earlier this season and last season. And you got to do your homework there. And when I was watching the game, I didn't see any real issues at all. I think Paquetá would probably have been looking for a foul there, but you've got to pretty much compliment Gabriel for being able to shake off his marker, give space for himself, meet the ball quite brilliantly, and the ex-Arsenal keeper just had no else. So, no, nothing to discuss here.
Right.
Goal was rightly given.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Should Wolves have had a penalty? This is obviously, was it Wolves and Bournemouth? In the first half, Matthias Cunha felt he was pushed over by Marcus Tavernier. The referee and VAR did not give a penalty. Sky Sports
once again, I can't hear you. I'll have to keep coming back. I don't know why this is.
Okay, mate, no worries. No worries. Right. Just wait a little bit, but see what other people think of this one. Should Wolves have had a penalty in the first half? Matthias Cunha felt he was pushed over by Marcus Tavernier. The referee and VAR did not give a penalty. Sky Sports Dermot Gallagher, Tavernier stood his ground. He doesn't really do a lot wrong. The referee says no, and I agree with him. Wolves were also agreed when Adam Smith made a change on Rodrigo Gomez, with no penalty given there either. He's a sandwich, but if you watch, Gomez goes into the defender. Smith stands his ground again, not a penalty. So has anyone got any opinions on that? Are you guys in the live chat? Luca, AK? I'll be up to you, Chelsea fan, as well. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Brilliant. Cheers. And as Chelsea fan says, keep hitting the like button, people, and sub to the channels, people. Yeah, definitely. Please keep doing that. I lost another sub. I don't know why. I was on 110. I'm down to 109, so I don't know why, but I won't take it personally. Please keep subbing, especially if you're new, and smashing the likes, of course. So, cheers, guys. And old Manny is back. I'll bring him on. And what did you make of that decision, Manny?
Yeah, obviously, Wolves are going to talk about, once again, how unlucky they were with decisions not going in their favour. And Gary O'Neill probably would have been fit to be tied about Wolves not getting at least one penalty. I think it's fair to say that when it came to, the first two penalties for Bournemouth there could be no real complaints. As far as Wolves are concerned, I don't quite remember seeing it, but if you could describe the Wolves one, we can sort of talk a little bit about it.
The Wolves have had a penalty? In the first half, Matthias Cunha felt he was pushed over by Marcus Tavernier. The referee and VAR did not give a penalty. Sky Sports Dermot Gallagher, Tavernier stood his ground. He doesn't really do a lot wrong. The referee says no, and I agree with him. Wolves were also agreed when Adam Smith made a change on Rodrigo Gomez, but with no penalty given there either. He's a sandwich, but if you watch, Gomez goes into the defender. Smith stands his ground again, not a penalty. So, really, I guess it wasn't. What do you think of that, Manny? You there, mate? You there, Manny? Hello? You there, mate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Steve, just had an issue with the mic. It suddenly went off. I do apologize for that. But
No worries.
I'd have to defer to what Gallagher. He probably proves the adage that you can't really analyze the game very well on the field, away from the with the benefits of video replays. You can actually do a pretty good job, and I think he pretty much gets the call right. But, once again, O'Neill's not going to be very happy. But I think we can take a look at the Bournemouth penalties that were awarded and say, you know what, no controversy there. And Jose Sarr will not want to remember a couple of them.
Yeah, obviously the first penalty, it's saying here, was analysed on the eventful game between Wolves and Bournemouth. Should the Cherries have been given their first penalty for a foul by Totti on Evan Nielsen? It's all about the referee's call and whether the referee feels he has caught him enough. The referee says yes, so it's never going to be overturned once he's given it on the pitch. When players are running side by side, it's easier for the defender. It's when they step in front of him. In this case, the referee feels he has caught him with his thigh. The on-field decision is always going to stand. Yeah, what do you make of that one?
No complaints there.
The second one, for Bournemouth's second penalty, Jose Sarr catches Evan Nielsen while trying to clear the ball after the striker nipped in front of him. Dermot says all you can say is in this one is the VAR has done the referee a great service. He thinks Sarr has kicked the ball. He certainly hasn't. Evan Nielsen comes in and Sarr catches him at the back of the leg. Penalty. Pretty straightforward again.
No complaints at all. And well done to Justin Kluivert for making history. A hat-trick of penalties.
Brilliant. Yeah. Was he the second Dutch player to do that? I think. I know did he break somebody's record? I don't know. I don't know really, but I think was he only the second Dutch player to do it or something?
I think it's the first time it's been done in the Premiership, but I will have to sort of look that up and see if it has been done before. You'd think I'd remember if it was done before by another Dutchman, but I'm not too sure. I don't think his dad would have done it.
Not a certain Dennis Bergkamp or anything. Yeah, but brilliant. Anyway, that's pretty straightforward as well. Nothing moaning about that. Second half, Jose Sarr brought down Evan Nielsen again for a third penalty for the Cherries. Justin Kluivert, by the way, scored all three. When this happened, Sarr must have thought, what's happening with my day? He would have had a sarcastic thank you very much to Craig Dawson, who has passed it back to him from Sarr, is the one who concedes the penalty. Yeah, it's Craig Dawson, terrible. Just got nothing on the ball whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah, very straightforward. I think this the last one, or there's one or two more. Yeah, about the Leicester one. What was the difference between Kearney and Ndidi? But after Kearney's red card, what is the difference between that tackle and the change that Wilfred Ndidi made for Leicester and Chelsea, which did not warrant a red card? The referees have learned. Remember, the Ref Watch verdict last season was 3-0 in favour of the red card for Ndidi. The referee was wrong, so you have to give people credit for recognising something, moving on and getting it right. You can't say Kearney doesn't get one because Ndidi didn't last week. Then you're consistently getting it wrong. It does help the game if you move forward. What do you think of that, Manny?
Well, didn't see either challenge, so I'm not too sure. And obviously, Fulham fans would have been justified in feeling fit to be tied when Kenny was sent off, like he was. Probably they didn't see too much in it. And I really don't know if I can agree, because if there was something very malicious about Ndidi's challenge, which I didn't see, then, that also should have had to been dealt with the same way. And the fact that it wasn't it's not going to be a good.
Yeah. And sort of following up there, should Kearney have seen red for Fulham? Fulham's Tom Kearney was sent off by VAR for a rough tackle on Tottenham's Dejan Kulusevski. Darren Bond initially gave a yellow, but it was upgraded to a red. Red card, very good intervention by VAR. Even Tom knows, and he didn't mean to do it. Philip Billing did a similar change a few years ago where he didn't mean to do it.
Flynn Downs there, huh?
Yeah, should Flynn Downs have been sent off while on a booking? Flynn Downs made several fouls on Brighton players and avoided a second booking from Rob Jones. Southampton's goal scorer was then substituted to avoid getting sent off. They're little fouls, they're building up. But after one of them, he says, one more. That's your last one, and then you're going. Then the manager subbed him. That's the referee being proactive. He has told the player, team, and the entire audience that he's going after the next one. The manager then subs him, so the referee has done really well. Downs delayed the restart for one of the fouls while already on the booking. Did he delay the restart? Brighton weren't in a position to take the free kick. The law is on the referee's side. Whoever you talk to has a different opinion. In a situation like this, the referee made the call of offside. The law is on his side. You have to resort to the referee. Correct there, Manny?
I certainly wouldn't have allowed him to commit more than 5 small fouls like that. I think far from being proactive, I'd like to think that if Rob Downs had shown him a yellow after, say, the 4th or the 5th one, Downs would have sort of knuckled Downs and said, enough's enough. But he kept on doing it, gave him a belated booking, and then said, one more and you're gone. Martin saw the opportunity to haul him off. And I actually think that was a little bit poor, because you do have to, in a way, when you commit these little fouls to try to stop the flow of the game, that is in itself a kind of an offence, as it were. And that is also something that should also be stamped out, in my opinion. So Downs probably should have booked him a little bit earlier. And I think Dan be quite lucky to consider himself to have been still on the field. What a good goal, but definitely a game for him, and not all of it in a good way.
No, but we got through them all anyway, and plenty of instances.
Okay, let me just come back, and you can bring AK on.
Yeah, hopefully he's still there. But yeah, they've been plenty of incidents there with the referees, as per usual. But we are going on to this subject. It's a real big one, talking point now with Man City, of course. If you're there, AK, you're welcome on now, buddy. I hope you can come on. We really need you on here. Being a City fan, want to hear your opinions on this. I'll start reading this out, and hopefully you'll be able to come on now, mate. Apologies not having you on before. I just wanted to get through all that and then get onto this, of course. Pep Guardiola is having his Mourinho moment, and Man City must beware. Guardiola snarkily sticking 6 fingers up to the Liverpool fans, chanting for him to get sacked. It was very reminiscent of his old rival Jose Mourinho. Pep Guardiola responds to sacked in the morning chants. For all the comments on Pep Guardiola's I'll try to get rid of this thing. Close, shut, piss off. Yeah, for all the comments on Pep Guardiola's scratches, some senior figures in football were a bit shocked by the image that emerged in midweek. That even extended to the top levels of Liverpool, who went on to beat Man City 2-0 on Sunday and extend their winless run to 7 matches in all competitions. It was certainly unusual, but these are unusual times. The 3-3 collapse at home to Feyenoord, followed by the lifeless loss at Anfield, made it even clearer that City's form is more than a blip. In the space of just 5 games, Guardiola has suffered a worst ever league defeat, a worst ever run of losses, 5 in a row before the Feyenoord draw, and the first ever game where one of his teams squandered a 3-goal lead. Those at Liverpool had been comparing it to Jurgen Klopp's 22-23 season, which the German felt he couldn't leave as his last campaign at Anfield. The same club made it even more torrid for City by seizing an opportunity to triumph at Anfield and move 11 points clear of the reigning 4-time champions in the Premier League title race. It feeds into this striking feeling about City's form. Every time you think it can't possibly get worse, it does. That alone has been a shock to confidence, one that is compounding everything. As much as Liverpool are fairly comparing that to Klopp, closest parallel is in Jose Mourinho's 2015-16 campaign at Chelsea. That was the one that Antonio Conte coldly referred to as the Mourinho season. For all that, the Portuguese has fallen since then. One of the reasons that period was so jaw-dropping was because such vulnerability had never before been witnessed in Mourinho's career. He was still seen as Guardiola's grand rival at the top of the game. With his team's impregnable, the Catalans were irresistible. Both that had that air of invulnerability. No more. 9 years later, Guardiola is now going through what Mourinho did. He even appears to be channeling his old Portuguese rival, defiantly sticking 6 fingers in the air to signify the number of Premier League titles he has won at City, when Liverpool fans began goading him with sacked in the morning chants. Back in 2018, when the wheels were falling off Mourinho's Man United tenure, he famously kept raising 3 fingers to represent the titles he'd claimed while at Chelsea. He did it at press conferences and during matches against Juventus and Chelsea. All the stadiums want to sack me. It started at Brighton. Guardiola told Sky Sports when asked about a chance claiming he'll be sacked. Maybe they are right with the results we've been having. I didn't expect that at Anfield. They didn't do it at 1-0 but at 2-0. Maybe they should have sung it in the past. I didn't expect it from the people from Liverpool, but it's fine. It's part of the game and I understand completely. There feels even more to it with Guardiola than there was with Mourinho. It's not just about a historic manager's previous aura. It's also about what City are as a club, as a state project, having subjected English football to the most intense period of dominance ever seen. A drop like this didn't seem possible. City seemed too well run, too wealthy, too structurally imperious. And yet, strangely, the very nature of that project might have made this possible. The Abu Dhabi takeover happened at the start of Guardiola's first season at Barcelona in 2008-2009, which made it inevitable the new City hierarchy would seek to emulate the most admired team in the game. They quickly realised it wasn't just about appointing Guardiola, but building the club in his image. So he had eventually had everything required to succeed. That is spectacularly productive if he is succeeding. If he's encountering regular defeat for the first time, however, it's suddenly more of a problem. So much is wrapped up in the manager. The build-up to Guardiola's contract renewal had already brought the first suggestions that it might be time to consider alternatives, that there was a danger of even such a vibrant football thinker going stale. Now it it is as if the manner in which City understandably indulged Guardiola has had unanticipated consequences. The Catalan has always insisted on small squads because he requires his teams to be psychologically honed, which is fine if the group stays fit. Rodri's unfortunate injury seems to have caused the unravelling of a team that is so tightly wound. Any club would miss a Ballon d'Or winner, but it shouldn't have led to a drop-off like this. It shouldn't have led to an Eredivisie side putting 3 past you with 15 minutes to go, having already conceded 4 apiece to Sporting and Tottenham Hotspur. The sense of a perfect storm has been compounded by injuries to other prime stars like Ruben Diaz, meaning most of the key players left are close to 30 or beyond. That creates more issues than the visible lack of intensity, or Kevin De Bruyne being consigned to the bench while Ilkay Gundogan struggles to run back. It leaves a group that have largely worked under Guardiola for years, with all of the risks that involves. This is where the parallels with Mourinho's final Chelsea season are perhaps most relevant. Portuguese found that he just didn't have the same effect on his players because they were burned out by his intensity. In a potentially similar way, Guardiola has always had a respect-hate relationship with his players. He isn't warm, and his own intensity, which is more internalised than Mourinho's, can grate. It got so bad in City's treble season that he eventually had to have a clear the air meeting. The players were won around in a way they almost always are, because they ultimately appreciate that Guardiola is a genius who will improve their careers. Yeah, that can only go on for so long, though, especially if those same players have already won everything. The dynamic can also go even further the other way. It was striking how Guardiola's unnecessarily fraught reaction to Feyenoord's first goal psyched out his team. They did not look a squad at ease. The previous assurance evaporated into errors like Ederson's rush out. The Brazilian goalkeeper was duly dropped for Stefan Ortega for the Liverpool clash. All of that forms one possible reason why Guardiola can't seem to arrest this right now, and why they are even missing his core principle of pressing intensity. He badly needs some of his prime players back. That is hugely important, and this is Manchester City. There's still an awareness they can respond and go on a run, but it's impossible not to wonder whether something more is going on. The Premier League hearing weighs over City's entire season. That can't be ignored indefinitely, and there are headlines about how the hearing might be concluded until the middle of December. It is known that such talk has made its way to the dressing room. No matter what players say publicly, has that started to affect them? Has it affected business? It is conspicuous that in a transfer window before season where they could yet be relegated, City's only business was one signing from within their ownership group in Savinho and the former star in Gundogan. Is this why the squad hasn't been refreshed as substantially as required? Potential signings will presently think twice. One high-profile target who felt City were an option told his camp the situation there is too fluid. Could this be an issue if they tried to spend in January? A lot of that is almost too much to think about just now. Guardiola's problems are much more immediate and fascinating in their own right. One of the game's historic geniuses has to think his way out of a situation he has never faced before. That was what Mourinho found in 2015-16, but this is still unprecedented. That's why Guardiola himself feels it so intensely, and why he suddenly bears such a striking resemblance to his old rival. Right. Got through all that. And Manny, it's only you. I don't know where AK's gone. What I could have done with him here, being a Man City fan, and he's not here now. Hopefully he'll come on in a little while, but what's your opinion on all this?
Yeah, I think the poor cat to leave, but you know, when you have a situation where Guardiola does a Mourinho and points up, holds up those fingers, signifying these are how many leagues I've compared to you lot. I think a joke which is doing the rounds on Twitter is that Guardiola was inadvertently pointing out how many Champions League titles Liverpool had won. And when you do something like that, it's sort of a sign saying that you're letting the pressure get to you, really. And you can't just allow, as a manager, any kind of banter from the fans to make you react. Mourinho did the same thing as well, when I think he was at Manchester United, and he did the same thing to the Chelsea fans. I think that was mentioned. But when you do something like that, I think that is sort of a sign that you are starting to lose it a little bit, and you don't really necessarily have everything going your way. And it was how you spoke about in the article, um, the fact that certain players never really found it comfortable going with Guardiola, and there had to be a sort of a clear out meeting. I think that clear out meeting, obviously, you can say made sure that their season. It never should have had to go down to that, if anything. And when you have that, where there will be some tensions, managers, sometimes you have to be big enough to be willing to address all of that and make sure you nip all those problems in the bud. Sometimes, the success of certain managers probably think that they have a license to behave in a rather arrogant sort of manner. I'm a big fan of Mourinho because I think Guardiola isn't exactly the most pleasant man to deal with. Jackie Grealish has found out on a few occasions, being on the wrong end of his rants at times. For me, someone like Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid now very well end up winning La Liga, even despite their struggle in the Champions League. I still think they'll make the last 16, but after a playoff, I think their chances of automatic qualification are pretty much gone. But the article said it all. When you use hubris and conflict and friction to try and, it may give you some great result. It isn't a recipe for long-term success. And I do start to wonder if maybe Guardiola bit off more than he can chew when he signed that new deal. If things are continuing to go the way they're going, and they do run a very serious risk of failing to win this league, to win any kind of silverware, and even, heaven forbid, failing to qualify for Europe, that has to be considered an absolute disaster of a season. But if Guardiola's not going anywhere, and I really wish we did have AK in his opinion on this, I think there will be some players that will have to, be moved on by the club, and several of them will definitely have played, if not their last game for Manchester City, then definitely their last season.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, he hasn't had to go through this sort of thing, has he, since he's been here?
He's had
it playing Guardiola. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, it's been plain sailing for him. And, yeah. I don't know if his job is in danger now. As Manny said, I would like to get AK's opinion on this, but it's a shame he's not here at the moment. If he does come on a bit later, we'll obviously go back to it a bit quickly. But could his job be in danger? I wouldn't have thought so. He signed a new deal, and you don't become a bad manager overnight, surely. His quality, you know what he's done. He's done so much with City, and as he pointed out there, six titles, trophies. So, he's done it all, and he's done it in his I think his footballing career when he played as well, Barcelona and so forth. Yeah, be up to you, Stepsy. Yeah, cheers for being in here, bro. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. So Manny, I was just saying there, do you think his job is under threat now? Or you don't become a bad manager overnight, do you? Surely. He's still a great manager, no matter what.
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear what you said, but I did say before leaving, Steve, that his job is not under threat. I think players are
Not
going to
under
have to be cleared out, and Guardiola will be given the green light to continue for at least one more season.
Yeah, well, he has actually signed a new deal, hasn't he? So, I mean, there's no...
I'll
you
be
wouldn't
back.
think you wouldn't be getting rid of him. So, surely not. So, yeah, Pep should be safe. Everybody goes through a bad patch, yeah? Exactly, Stepsy, yeah. You're right there, bro. Yeah, it can happen to the best of managers, can't it? So, it's happened to Thomas Frank. Yeah, he's a great manager. Come on. He is, actually. You know, I know last season I was probably down on him, wanting him out. I was a bit disillusioned. But he's starting to turn things around again at the Bees, and I'm glad he's doing well, Thomas Frank, again. So I definitely wouldn't have him out now. He's been brilliant for us. He's got us into the Premier. And we're playing some great stuff. Okay, we are a bit too open at times now. And I'm still not sure about our away form. We go maybe a bit too defensive in the away games. And Villa next, that won't be easy. So maybe we can't open up there, though, because we could be demolished against Villa. So, but I'd like us to do something. I'd like us to get something away there. We got a point away at Everton. Can we do something at Villa? It's and they are struggling, let's be honest. So you never know. And you are back, Manny. Right. We won't carry on with this too much longer because obviously I want to get on to the other game, the scores from the weekend and the predictions for. We got games tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, Premier. So obviously want to get on with those, talk about them quickly. But you know, saying that with all this, do you think they can turn this around, bounce back, Man City, from all this?
They should be able to, but they are going to have to really start, playing each other and not just themselves. And certainly the decision to drop Edison means that no player should be considered safe. I think they will find a way to come back, but as far as winning the title is concerned, forget it. I really don't see them being able to do that. It would need to take an absolute implosion from Liverpool to really give City any kind of a chance. And I think they'll have to just forfeit the title. They probably might be best advised to concentrate on trying to go further in the Champions League and maybe winning yet another FA Cup. That's probably as good as it's going to get. But I think they'll find a way to bounce back and have a decent finish, but they're not going to challenge for the title. That's gone.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you there, Manny. I think they could at least get a couple of trophies, maybe, as you say, Champions League, FA Cup, something like that. They could probably get those. So, you know, it's still not a failure this season, but they're not going to win the Premier, as you say. I think Liverpool have got it now. I don't see them, failing Liverpool. They're doing really well under Slot, so I can't see that ending at all. Yeah, so I think it is a bad spell for him. Let's hope he does come out the other end, though, because he is a great manager. I will still say that. I still would have loved him as England manager, but obviously that didn't happen. We got Tuchel, though, so that's a great manager. We're happy with him. But yeah, I think they'll be back. City, they're too good, and he's too good a manager. But as you say, maybe it gives Arsenal a chance as well. Sorry, I know you probably don't think that either, but I thought I'd throw that in. Do you think Arsenal got a chance, Manny?
Well, they do, but if they don't take it, it's going to be par for the course.
Mm. I mean, if they don't win it, they'd probably be maybe second again. Do you think Arsenal? Second or third?
Third will not be the charm.
Right. Well, anyway, let's move on. And obviously, these games that we've had from the weekend, Brighton won, Southampton won. What do you make of that? I was a bit disappointed, as I say, with Brighton. Southampton could have easily won it. I rate Brighton, though. I rate the manager. I think they're going really well. Do you think they can get a top 5, top 6 finish, maybe, Brighton?
Maybe top 6, because some of the bigger teams will be coming into their stride, and I think they'll be far too good. I think Brighton will get a mid-table finish. If they do get a European place via the Conference League, then good for them.
And Southampton, do you think they're definitely down? They're definitely gone, or there's any chance for them at all to stay up?
They'll have to try to improve their defence in January, but I think they're also a little bit too far gone almost at this point. And I just think there's so much naivety, for want of a better word, way they play. And I really don't think that they'll have what it takes to stay up, I'm afraid.
No, I agree. I think they're definitely down. Who goes with them? I'm still not totally sure. I actually think Ipswich might stay up myself. I think they're good enough to stay up, so it might not be them. Even with Van Nistelrooy, do you think Leicester could still stay up? Do you think they're okay?
Well, we probably will discuss further when you review the Brentford-Leicester game.
Yeah.
There are some players who are still proving their worth, but there are others who, quite frankly, don't deserve to be there. And I think a lot of Leicester fans will tell you that the atmosphere from back when it used to be at the King Power Stadium, when they were legitimately one of the bigger teams in the Premiership and really challenging for top honours, I think that's now gone, and they're now just focused on trying to stay in the Premiership more than anything else. And it's a shame, because they play some great football. They've got some wonderful fans, but I think it's just a reminder of how fortunes have sort of changed and not really better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Well, of course, I'm still buzzing about that result from Saturday. We thrashed them. I didn't think we were going to get 4. I really didn't expect 4 goals. I think I put 3-1 the Bees, but 4 was a real bonus. And this guy called Kevin Shardy, who's a smooth operator. He's a smooth operator. And so apologies for the singing, guys. But yeah, what a performance by that man, young man. He's come in and he's got talent, his raw ability. I knew he had it in him to do something like this, but I didn't expect it so soon. What do you make of it, Manny?
Problems galore for Leicester, but as for the Bees, who needs Ivan Toney? And I'm sorry that I had to mention his name, but when I ask that sort of a question, hopefully you can agree with me that now you've definitely moved on from him and have sort of shut the door on that era in a way. And Leicester quite simply have problems, and Ruud van Nistelrooy won't solve them overnight. He
No.
does, of course, have some long-term absentees, the likes of Fatawu and several others, and it's just not really looking good for them. I think it's fair to say they never should have hired Steve Cooper. It was never going to be a popular appointment given his history with Nottingham Forest, and obviously that Midland derby thing, that Midland rivalry is obviously a bit of a sore point, as it were. Um, of course, Spurs had George Graham managing them, and he helped them win a League Cup, but different circumstances, different times, more than anything else. So. Yeah, Leicester have got some problems, mate. And if they don't solve them, then they could end up going back down. Ruud van Nistelrooy has a huge job on his hands. But as for Brentford, you know, there will be times, of course, when you will struggle and have a bad day. But you are also having some really good days. And if the good days can outnumber the bad days, then definitely you're going to be there or thereabouts. And you're still winning a lot of admirers with the way Frank has gone about things and the way you're playing.
Yeah, we're eighth, Manny. We're eighth in the Premier. Who'd have thought, eh? Brilliant.
Yep, who'd have thought?
But as Hanno's just said here, Steve Cooper deserved the sack. He's saying here. Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying he never should have been hired in the first place.
No, definitely not. Do you think we... Oh, no, actually, I'll do that when we do the predictions. I was going to say about us at Villa, but I'll go into that more there when we get to that. Palace won, Newcastle won. Palace, they were struggling a bit. They somehow got a point there. Newcastle are up and down, aren't they? You don't know what you're going to get from them at the moment. I'm hoping we could do them on Saturday. We got them on Saturday. I'd like that if we could beat them as well. But what do you make of them two, Palace and Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle, for some reason, are not exactly able to get things together at the moment. And I think Eddie Howe's finding it a little bit difficult these days. I also would perhaps go so far to say that maybe there's something not quite really affecting, not quite really, right with the squad, with the players. It's very hard to put a finger on it. But, obviously Crystal Palace were good value for the point that they got, but they're still struggling. And I think whoever made the decision to take Eddie Nketiah off our hands and part with about 30 million bob for that, all I can say is you people are perfect proof that fools and their money are very often easily parted. Good point that Stepsy makes. Several injuries, and obviously, with Callum Wilson having not played for quite some time, although he isn't exactly one of the more one of the players with star appeal, he is definitely a sort of a cult figure at Newcastle, and it's never going to be easy when you do have those injuries. But still, some of the players that you've got over there have been experienced enough to have played very well. I also do believe, and this may be a very unpopular sentiment, I think that Nick Pope is once again having a pretty poor run of form, and it shouldn't be long before Martin Dubravka comes in for him like he did for a few games last season.
Yeah.
And more and more issues that Newcastle have with their squad. Crystal Palace also are not quite out of the woods yet, though. Let's get one thing clear. Unless they really solve, they could end up facing some even bigger issues themselves. And many of us have talked about how we admire Glasner as a manager. Definitely has the pedigree, having coached Eintracht Frankfurt to the Europa League title. But maybe he's another manager, like a certain manager who you'll be facing in midweek, who seems to be able to do the business in Europe, knows how to crack it, but maybe the Premier League is just not quite his cup of tea. But I'd say Crystal Palace would have been more happy with the point, given how they struggled and how they looked to have They should have probably gotten more from that game. Newcastle will also feel as though they needed the win more than anything else, and I think they'll be a little bit more disappointed, and they're going to have to start getting things together ASAP.
Yep, for sure. What do you think about Forest and Ipswich? 1-0 to the Forest there. Very, very merry men there now from the Forest with that. And Ipswich, unfortunate, only losing 1-0. I still think they're good enough. I think they will stay up. What about you? What about you, Manny? Do you think they can? And Forest, do you think they're gonna trouble the top 5 or 6 again, or what this season?
The way Forest are, there will be a little bit of a slump coming around the corner. I definitely don't think that what Nuno is doing can really be sustained. And if anybody were to ask who'd be the Robin Hood in this particular tale, it would have to be Chris Wood, definitely not Nuno. Because once again, the big New Zealander, who obviously grew up more of a fan of rugby than football, and sadly not cricket, otherwise we really would have enjoyed him. His goals have really given Forest that impetus they need more than anything else. And I think it is definitely fair to say that Forest have been playing quite well and have certainly, proven that they are worthy of staying for a little bit longer this time around, better than they did for the last 2 seasons under Steve Cooper. But it's still very early days, and I don't think they'll sustain it. As far as Ipswich are concerned, they still show a lot of character and a lot of spunk. But as we all know, that can only get you so far in a ruthless league like the Premiership, and they're going to have to learn to start cutting down those mistakes more than anything else.
Yeah, I still feel they've got some talented players there that could keep them up. Obviously, the likes of Delap, I think he's a quality player. And of course, Schmodics, of course, can get goals. So I just feel there is still enough about them, to keep them up, Manny. I really do.
I agree, but I would love them to stay up, obviously, because of the history that they have, founder members of the Premier League and all of that. But again, it's really all down to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and your favourite second team there, Bournemouth. Would you say they're your second team, Bournemouth? In a way?
No, they're not really a second team because, obviously, you could call them maybe a third team as such, but I don't really live and die by their, their results and performances. But obviously, Craig Beasley and the Harrison brothers are very good mates of mine, and I do enjoy seeing Bournemouth do well because it makes them happy. And certainly, when they beat us fair and square at Dean Court, I was saying, what, you boys deserved it, and we've got some problems. And I meant it. I wasn't just, being a grumpy old git who didn't like Arteta. I meant every bit of it. And so Bournemouth definitely they're gonna have some poor results of their own. And obviously, there will be some games where I feel that they should have done a little bit better. But they're heading in a good direction under Iraola, and they're certainly capable of scoring plenty of goals. And they're not going to be easy teams. In fact, they've already given us a bloody nose. They gave Manchester City a bloody nose. They also took a point off Aston Villa with the very last kick of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they give a few more teams a few bloodied noses, but of course they did face Chelsea early in the season, didn't go too well, and I think we all remember that beat Manchester United at Old Trafford last season, an absolute horror show for Erik ten Hag. Bournemouth should be able to finish in a very comfortable mid-table position. Very comfortable mid-table position.
We just beat them as well, 3-2, so that was quite tight, close. But yeah, I think they're a very good team, Bournemouth. I rate them. I really do. If they do finish top 10, I think they deserve it. And Wolves, though, really struggling still under O'Neill. It's such a shame. I like this bloke. He's a fantastic manager, O'Neill. His quality. I hope he does keep them up. You know, I mean, they were sort of turning the corner for a while, weren't they? And getting goals and winning. Do you think they're still in trouble, or do you think they're going to get out of that, Wolves?
I think the thing about them is that there's going to come a time when they'll have to stop feeling sorry for themselves and pull their fingers out of their mouths and say, you know what, we've got these bum calls. We just have to move on and try and make sure that we overcome them and rise above them. And if they can do that, then that's fine. I always say, of course, that the best teams and managers are able to, rise above these poor these pieces of bad luck and say, you know what, let's just move on and try and do better. And when more for credit to them. Gary is just going to have to try and make sure that he, gets his team playing a lot better and just, shaking everything off and moving on. Tomorrow's another day. Technically not. I mean, of course, it is tomorrow. It's another day because that's when the midweek action starts. I just don't know when they'll be playing in the midweek.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'd like to see him stay up with him there. I think he's a great manager. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see. What about Chelsea Villa? What do you make of that one, Chelsea? Another good win, 3-0. Really going well. Villa on the slump, a bit of a slump now. What do you make of them?
Chelsea are doing really well, to say about them. And whenever you see the likes of, Nicholas Jackson, Mark Cucurella, and a few others proving their critics wrong from last season, Moises Caicedo, of course, then you've got to say that Enzo Maresca joining Chelsea was a masterstroke by the club. And we'll see how well they do this season. I don't think they'll win the league, but they'll certainly they should qualify for the Champions League. I think Hanno will also agree that if they don't win the Conference League, it will be a bit of a failure and a disappointment. Of course, having said all of that, Aston Villa were in the Conference League last season. Many of us wanted them to go all the way, but they lost in the semi-finals to Olympiacos. Wonderful consolation prize of Champions League football, and they are going great guns in the Champions League. Should have had 4 wins out of 5, as I've said, and they've only conceded 1 goal in the group stages so far. But they can't keep a Premiership clean sheet for Tuffy. And I don't know whether it's down to Martinez having a rare bad game. I think he made one poor error that to Jackson, and then Jackson fell on top of him, landing awkwardly, and Martinez had to go off, and the Swedish international Robin Olsen came on. And defensively, for some reason, this season, they look all over the shop. Emery should have done his due diligence and strengthened the team defensively in the summer, knowing that Champions League football would be a priority. Obviously, you have the issue of PSR. He had to sell Moussa Diaby and Douglas Luiz. But to depend on someone like a Tyrone Mings, who missed an entire season with an ACL injury, to try and come back and do well, that's a foolhardy strategy. And you just don't know if Mings can really, match the pace. And of course, when Villa played against Club Brugge, Mings was the one who stupidly conceded the penalty, which, mucked up their perfect clean sheet record. But defensively, they look all over the shop. And for some reason, the midfield, which was a source of, a lot of their strength, a lot of their attacking, has looked a little bit compromised, with many, many mistakes being made. I know that with Boubacar Kamara and Yuri Tillemans, you'll get a lot of creativity, but you also have to have that toughness. And Barkley does provide that toughness, even if he's a little bit slower and not as able as he used to be. Andre Onana being injured hasn't helped. He's certainly a good ball carrier and certainly knows how to ride some tackles, but maybe his passing isn't the best. But he and Tielemans obviously, working together for Belgium, it was a no-brainer in some ways to get him from Everton. And with Watkins, as Katy Perry would say, he blows hot and cold. And even Duran at times hasn't been able
Not,
to, make things happen.
not hungry
So
like the
Villa
wolf.
do. Now, I will say that there have been games where they've been the victims of some very scandalous refereeing decisions, and they haven't had, the best of luck at times. But again, you can't just, be angry with the world and say, we're not getting the rub of the green. It's not fair. No, you got to pull your fingers out of your mouth and fight on, as I've said about Wolves. And I really do like Unai Emery, and I think I have to give credit to Aston Villa for saying that they will, back Unai Emery, because when we had Emery at this stage not last season, in 2019, we decided that, after a run of 6 games without a win, we can't take this anymore, and we couldn't take it anymore, and he had to go. But Villa know that in him they've got a manager who is definitely tactically smart. Some of the players just are having up and down seasons when it comes to form. I overcome this. I don't know if it's going to be against Brentford with Mbuemo, this now Shatter in such terrific form. And obviously the ex-Bs at Villa, Watkins and Konsa, they're going to have to start, getting back on top of their game ASAP. And defensively, I think at the end of the season, Emery's going to have to conduct an itinerary, an inventory, and say that some of these defenders are going to have to leave. Either too injury prone or just not capable of concentrating enough.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree.
Be back, Steve.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, go on. No worries, mate. Yeah. Man United, big win there, 4-0. Fantastic win for United against Everton. Yeah, struggling to score. And Amorim gets a great result there. I think obviously his first win there, I believe, with United. So, great for Amorim to get his home win, first home win there. Debut and 4-0. So, pretty convincing there from United, But they got tougher games to come, of course, as we all know. Bigger games to come, but that's great for Amorim. Great start there for him, 4-0. And maybe it's manager bounce. That's starting to take effect now, this new manager bounce. Do you think there's new manager bounce now starting to take effect there, Manny, for United against Everton, 4-0?
They've played Ipswich, they've played Everton. Too soon to say. They're looking better, but they have to face some bigger tests. And there could be no bigger test at this point, with the exception of Liverpool, than facing Arsenal.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that very soon. That's a big one, isn't it, Manny? Yeah, very big, mate. We'll discuss that very soon. What about Spurs, Fulham? Not convincing again from the Spurs, is it? Old Spursy. Nowhere near. But Fulham, good point for them.
Team, aren't they? High highs, low lows. This was somewhere in the middle. At least it wasn't a home loss like it was against Ipswich. But they will know they should have gotten more from this. And in January, they're going to have to do a lot of, work. And well done to Fraser Forster for stepping in for the injured Vicario and, proving his worth with some excellent saves. But, they just got to improve consistency.
Yeah, exactly. But Fulham, great point for Fulham. They're a good team. I rate them. I really like Fulham. So great from them, I think, to get a point. And I think they'll be safe this season, wouldn't they? I can't see them being in any trouble at all. Relegation or anything.
No. Ever since Marco Silva's come into Fulham, he's pretty much steadied the ship excellently well and had them doing so well at times that they were considered favourites for European football. But you know, ever since I mean, I think that they just have a tendency to go through a slump in form at the wrong time, which drags them down a bit. But they will end up comfortably mid-table at worst.
Yeah. I did sort of go past your game, and sort of apologies for that. You know, at 5-2, that was a fantastic victory for the Gunners. Do you think though you keep just this always happens when the pressure's off for you? You get these results. When the pressure's back on, you struggle. Would that be fair, Manny?
Yeah, and it is certainly. And when we faced Sporting Lisbon in Champions League, we knew that they were going to be without Amorim. And I've said on the group chat, and I will say again, that Amorim's decision to walk away will always be a stupid decision. He has a wonderful thing going with Sporting Lisbon, top of the Primeira Liga, and going great. Why do you want to walk away from all that when you know? Well, you want to walk away from all of that. And the City team, the United team, which isn't even in the Champions League, which has been in crisis. I mean, even if United may have been willing to pay the fee to sort of prize them away, Amorim had the option, could have said no. But when we beat them, we knew that they'd be slightly, because although they had the same play, the influence wouldn't be there. And obviously, a lot of people were talking about how Teixeira, the new coach, wasn't exactly, up to snuff. But we never expected that we would run roughshod over them. And I think our strategy is starting with a very quick press. It unnerves a lot of defenses, and as quickly as possible, we end up scoring. And we did it against Forest, we did it against Sporting, and now against West Ham. That's in 3 games. And obviously, there is news that Lisandro Martinez and Kobbie Mainoo will be suspended for Manchester United. But having said that, Amorim's a smart manager, and I trust him to sort of make the best of the resources that he has. So if we come up against big teams, we probably might not get the results that we need, and we're going to look back on the Liverpool and City games and say that we should have won those games.
Well, you think what steps he's saying he walks away from Sporting because money talks, and he could become a cult hero at United.
Could have become an even bigger hero at Sporting Lisbon, I say. Remember the town mouse and the country mouse. Always stay where you are at your happiest and your most comfortable, and where you know that you've got something going good. Not everything that glitters is gold, especially if that happens to have a leaky roof, for crying out loud.
Yeah, old Shitford. Yeah, it's terrible there, isn't it? Yeah. You'd think they'd have fixed that by now, wouldn't you? But there you go, all that money they got. But anyway, in the final one, Liverpool beating City 2-0. City were terrible, I thought. Certainly that first half. Liverpool could have had at least 5, I think.
Yep. City have problems. Liverpool, they probably could have had a little bit more, but the ominous sign about it is that they're not going to complain about not having scored more goals, because they were so much in control of the game, even during the second half, that City just never even bothered to lay a glove on them. I don't even remember any incident where Kevin Kelleher had to make a save, for Pete's sake. Maybe he did and I missed it. I don't know. But, it's not all about the money, but I get what you're saying, Stepsy. And, Liverpool just looked in control of that game. You could say that they were probably feeling pity for City, or, toying with them. Yeah. And they just look so ominous right now. Against Southampton, they were a little bit sloppy, but they found a way to win. But you have to make sure you do well in the big games, and that's really the sign of champions. I know they drew against us at the Emirates, but at Anfield, it's going to be a very, very, tough proposition.
and Salah. What a fantastic player he is, isn't he? Quality, 2 more goals, and the Egyptian king, as they say, amazing. And I think this is his last season, is it not? I believe he is leaving. So could he sign off with another Premier title, or at least 1 or 2 trophies at least, if not the Premier?
I think there have been appeals to get him sign a new deal, and even one of the local politicians, who actually is from Coventry, but surprisingly a Liverpool fan, Zara Sultana, has made it crystal clear that she wants to see Salah get a new deal. Their policy is, of course, and apologies for the coughing,
That's fine,
is
mate.
to not really reward people over 30 with bumper new deals. And they do have a concern that maybe, in as much as Salah is doing well and is in a patch of form, it could, start to dip later on in the season. Will the returns be as good in subsequent seasons? At least give him, a 1-year deal with an option of a second to reward him and see how well he does. And if his performances continue to do well, then, you can't complain. And what I'm going to say right now is, with a cricket connection, I'm not, that I'm not really a fan of the IPL, but I do actually like the Rajasthan Royals, as do you. And their decision to literally rip away the entire experienced core that they had for the last 2 seasons could very well come back to them on the backside. I'm still hopeful that but you can't just take away that level of experience and quality. And getting rid of Joss Butler, who scored 2 centuries last season. I mean, really?
Yeah.
To not even consider retaining him?
How brain dead is that?
So there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are going to be some moments where, you have to analyze your players and see if they're worth it. And, now, and then you have this this utter, gutter snipe, for want of a nicer word, Jamie Carragher, having the nerve to say that Mo Salah's being selfish by talking about the contract deal. Well, don't you think Salah deserves some quality? He's won, unlike you, Mr. Carragher, he's won the Premiership in addition to a Champions League. And he's done some great things. So, he has a right to expect a little bit of clarity. Maybe Slot wants to try to, get his bearings, dig his heels in, analyze everything, and then he'll make a decision near the end, a new deal. But Salah will be smart enough to know that it won't be the bumper 3 to 4 year deal that he would dream of. And if the likes of PSG or even any other club in the Middle East are willing to offer him, a boatload of money and a longer deal, well, he's achieved everything he's wanted to achieve at Liverpool. He's still going great guns for the Egyptian national team. Maybe a move to the Middle East, closer to home. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But Liverpool are going to miss him when he goes. And especially when you consider that the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold are, by a possible move to Real Madrid, why would you not want to reward people who, in addition to being loyal to the club, are still performing well?
Exactly. I think the Premier will be poorer without Manny being Salah being in it. That's all right, Manny. No worries. When he comes back, we just go through all these predictions, and that'll be it, guys. I'm going to bounce as soon as we do these, because I'm Hank Marvin, so I will be wanting to get something to eat very soon. Just going to go through these predictions, of course, for the games that are tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, of course. We go through all these games when he comes back. As I say, though, the Premier will be poorer without Mo Salah in it. He's been a fantastic servant, been brilliant for Liverpool. I can't really think how many years he's been there now, but he's obviously been there a lot. And for Liverpool, maybe somebody could tell me how long he's actually been there. But he's been fantastic in the Premier, really lit it up, scored so many goals. I'm amazed he hasn't always won the Premier goal scorer, because obviously it's been Haaland as well, as we know. But maybe Haaland might not get it this time, the way he's going. Maybe Salah might get that as well, the top Premier scorer as well. We will see. I don't know if you heard any of that, Manny. I feel the Premier.
Yeah, I heard it. It looks as though it looks as though for once in his life, Haaland is going to have to start being a little bit more humble. But you know, it's a fact of life. As the Pet Shop Boys said quite brilliantly, the higher you fly, the further you fall, and you are literally up against it.
Yep, exactly. Well said there, buddy. I love the Pet Shop Boys as you do, and they wrote some brilliant songs, great lyrics, and you mentioned some of them there. So brilliant. But we move on to the predictions, mate, and that'd be it. I'm going to bounce. Obviously, going to bounce, and I know you want to go and do other things, and I do, of course. I've got to get something to eat. But we'll go through these predictions quickly. What do you think about Ipswich Palace? That's tomorrow, 7:30. What are you going to say for that one, Manny?
I think my immediate reaction would be a draw. It is going to be sort of like a relegation 6-pointer, but I wouldn't be surprised if you do get something out of it. I think Crystal Palace, for some reason, ironically, look a bit disjointed. And, you know, the Eddie Nketiah signing has proven to be an absolute disaster so far. If he doesn't score, it's time to flog him off. And again, fools and their money are very easily parted. So I'm predicting a draw, possibly a Desmond, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ends 2-1 to Ipswich.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going 2-1 Ipswich, Manny. I feel Ipswich could get a win here. Palace are in a bad way. They're in. I know they got a draw the other day, 1-1, but they're not playing at their best. Glasner is not getting the best out of them for some reason. They've only really got Eze. I think Eze might be injured actually as well. He might be missing this one. So it's going to be real problems. Sorry, mate.
The Eagles are ground.
Yeah. The Eagles are not flying at the moment, so I'm definitely going Ipswich here, 2-1. And what's the next? What was doing for the next one? Leicester, West Ham. Yeah, both teams struggling in bad ways at the moment. Obviously, Leicester have got a new manager bounce now. They might have that. Could you see them coming out on top here against West Ham? Will Flopategui go after this?
I think, in as much as I don't rate Sloppy as a manager, I think West Ham showed, especially against Arsenal, that they have a greater ability to score some goals, and they do have some good attacking talent at their disposal. Whether it's, you know, great super smashing Owen or, you know, the Formula One Emerson or Wan Attacker or anyone else, they seem to be able to score. And Leicester's defense, quite frankly, is, you know, channels, I have to say. I wouldn't be surprised if it finishes. I'm going to go for a 2-1 West Ham win. A nice way to recover from the loss at home to Arsenal.
Right, well, you know what? I'm going for a Desmond here, Manny. I think it's going to be a 2-2.
Ooh, nice.
I just think Leicester will have some. There will be some bounce there because of Rude coming in. He had a rude awakening against us, of course, but I think here, I just think they're going to score a couple, and because West Ham's still conceding, I think West Ham will get goals, will get a couple. So yeah, I think definitely a Desmond here, 2-2. And Everton Wolves. Well, both teams are in. Well, Everton got walloped 4-0 by United, and Wolves also lost, 4-2 against Bournemouth. So, what do you think? I think Wolves might win this somehow. What do you think?
I agree. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go 3-1 Wolves. I think they're going to get more, and Everton are really struggling to score. So they may only get one, and I think Wolves will get three. I think they got better attackers there, Wolves. More danger. Likes of who they got there? Who's that guy I'm thinking of? Scoring at the moment. Cunha and all that. Cunha and whatever. So I think there's definitely more about them to win. So yeah, 3-1 Wolves for me. Well, City and Forest, Manny. What can you predict for this one?
This might actually be, a shot in the dark, but this could very well be the game which sees City break their losing run. Because I did remember saying that obviously, in as much as Forest are in a great run of form, they can't really sustain it. And what's ironic is that after the hurt of losing 4-0 at home to Spurs, they weren't really able to, quite recover from that. Credit to Guardiola for being ruthless enough to drop Edison after conceding all of those goals and giving Ortega a chance. Ortega won't let you down. And I think he is going to have to start, using the sick for some of his players and start, trying to get more out of them. And I think, this could very well be the game where City break their losing run. I'll go for a 2-1 win here. I don't think Forest are going to sustain their good form under Nuno for very long.
No, I'm going to go that as well. I feel City will bounce back, and I just think Forest has done fairly well this season. I think they're, batting above their weight in a way. I think they've done really well, and sort of they were third at one stage, weren't they? I believe so. Yeah, I think they're going really well, but I just think you can't keep City down for too much longer. They're going to come back. They've got too much quality still. I think it will be closer, but I'm going to go 2-1 City, the same as you. And Newcastle, Liverpool. Well,
3-1.
What, Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to agree again. I'm going 3-1 Liverpool here. I don't know what's happened with Newcastle this season. They are really up and down. You don't know what you're going to get from them at the moment. I just think Liverpool are in too good a form and scoring too many goals. Salah and Gakpo and the rest of them. I can't say about Nunez because he don't score. But a lot of them are in top goal scoring form. So, yeah, I think definitely a 3-1 Liverpool here. And what's the next one? Southampton, Chelsea. Surely Chelsea.
4-1.
4-1. Yeah. I'm going 4-0 actually. I don't think they're going to concede somehow. I think 4-0. They're in really great goal scoring form and getting plenty of goals. Jackson and the rest are all scoring. So, yeah, 4-0. And now your one, Manny. Oh, the big one. Arsenal United at the Emirates.
At the Emirates. It should really only go one way, but I'm going to give Amorim his flowers. I think he'll get United really geared up for this. We should win. I'm hoping for 2-1 because I think it will be that tight.
You might not like me for this one, Manny, but I'm going for a 1-1 for this one. I just think...
I'm never going to stop liking you, regardless of what you say, mate.
Oh, cheers, mate. But, I just feel, United are on some sort of a form here with the 4-0. And I just think somehow they're going to hold you there and get a point. I just feel that somehow that's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm going 1-1. And now, another big game for the Bees. A Villa against the Bees. I think I know what you might go for. I know your number one will probably be back playing in that one for Villa.
I don't think so, because when he sustained that injury at Chelsea, he landed quite awkwardly and he was taken off. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for to actually give Martinez a rest and let Robin Olsen have a game to sort of keep Emmy fresh for the Champions League games that will be coming next week, and also the subsequent Premiership Saturday game. And that probably could be one change that can happen. He is going to have to try to, whip the midfield and defense into shape. And this is a game which I can actually see ending in a Desmond, which means that their winless run will continue. They should smash that winless run against Southampton. If they don't, then questions will be asked about Unai Emery. But the way Brentford are playing, I think they'll score goals. Villa should be able to score. I wouldn't even be surprised if you do manage to beat Villa on their home turf, but I do think that this could end up being a bit of a Desmond.
Yeah, but do you think with another goalie there, do you think we might have more of a chance? Because we know Martinez saves pretty much nearly everything most of the time. Will we have a better chance of getting some goals this time and beating them? Because generally we have Mr. Watkins comes to the party yet again, doesn't he? And scores against us.
Yeah, XB, and don't forget another XB in Konsa as well, back in the defence. Olsen's a good deputy, and last season when he played against Brighton at the Amex, he was absolutely magnificent. Denied a clean sheet and a point through a contentious penalty, of course. And, again, we don't know what's going to happen. When is this game being played, by the way? It is Wednesday, is it? With two games on Thursday, Brighton, Bournemouth, Spurs. Yeah, I think it could very well up starting, but then if Emmy recovers in time, then he probably will go back in. But I personally would like to see Olsen start and, one or two changes being made, because obviously, from Sunday to Wednesday, it is a little bit of a difficult transition, and Arsenal will have an extra day of rest than they will. But like I said, 2-2. I think Brentford are in excellent goal-scoring form. You're scoring goals well. And if defensively Villa don't get their act together, it could end up being a really horrible day. I'm backing Villa to get a Desmond, but that's because I think Brentford is strong. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford win, by the way.
Yeah, but then also I'm thinking here, Manny, that we're bad away. Our away form is not great. And, we got a point at Everton, but, I just wish we could do what we can at home, what we're doing away, and do that away. And unfortunately, I go with you, though, that we will get goals, but I'm going Villa to win 3-2. Here, I just feel, they're going to have too much in the end. And as much as Villa are struggling, and, maybe if there's a case where they still struggle and they let Emery go, we'd take him. At the Bees, if Frank does decide to leave at any stage, we'll take Unai Emery, because I think he's still a great manager. But, I still
think about Emery, Steve, that he's an outstanding manager when it comes to continental football, but maybe the Premiership isn't his cup of tea.
No. But I still think they're going to have too much for us. I probably see Watkins at least getting one or two again. He always turns up against us, doesn't he? I thought, what's he got against us? We gave him some good times at the Bees, and he scored some goals for us. What's wrong with you, man? What have we done to you? That's what I want to know. But it's no. But I just feel we're going to lose, unfortunately. I hope not, though. If it turns out to be wrong, I didn't think we get 4 on Saturday, so we might win. I'll be happy with that, Fulham Brighton. What about that one?
Oh, a very tough one. Fulham normally have a good record at home, but they have been beaten by Villa and Wolves this season at the Cottage. And Brighton do look very well organised. This is a game where I see Brighton making a 2-1 win.
Mm. Yeah, I think maybe they just win it, as you say, 2-1. I was disappointed with them the other day, but I thought they would have won fairly easily against Southampton. But no, I do rate Fulham as well, though. But I still think Brighton might just have too much here, 2-1, same as you. And Bournemouth Spuds. Well, shall we like to see the Cherries do well again and win here? Wouldn't you, Manny?
Yeah, Dominic Solanke coming back to Dean Court, unless he's injured. I don't know if he is. But what can you say about Spurs? At least you'll know they're in the Premiership. As I said, they contrived to lose to promoted Ipswich, but then they thrashed the defending champions 4-0 at the Etihad, and then they end up slipping up slightly to a 1-1 draw at home to them. It's a roller coaster with these boys, and I hate roller coasters, but I don't mind if I'm one who's watching a roller coaster. Mate, me, I'm just too squeamish. I mean, I can't. I know that obviously when you get to sit in the roller coaster with the bars and everything, but just the sensation of going up and down, upside down, and I'm just too squeamish for that, mate. I really am. And I do seem to remember in London not too long ago, actually quite long ago, it was in 1998, I think. I remember going to a place with my family and trying the max drop, where you sit on a chair and are suddenly dropped from a height. And heads up, if you don't scream, you end up running the risk of bursting a blood vessel in your head. That was awful. And at the game itself, where I can see ending in a draw, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Bournemouth managed to nick a 3-2 win. There will be goals in this, believe you me. And I'll tell you what, if Spurs manage to earn a point at a place where Arsenal failed, it's not going to be a very good look for us.
Yeah, I think I think Bournemouth can win it.
Steve, once again, I can't hear you, but if you could just allow me to shout them out, I'll be on my way so that you can end the stream. But sure, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much indeed for hosting the stream and having me on. Big up to you. And big up to everyone who was in the chat. Stepsy, Chelsea fan, Hanno, Luca was here earlier, and AK as well. We were supposed to have him talk about Manchester City, but sadly he couldn't stay. And just to be clear, if you check the chat,
yeah, I see him there, mate. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. I will leave because AK has just come back, Steve. So you can have him on, and that's a good time. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And don't end the stream just yet. And I want to say big up to you, obviously, and once again, and big up to everyone in the chat. And you can catch me on both of Mr. B's channels, the Hive of Football chat, obviously the Buzz, and also the chat where we talk England cricket. And also, big up to Del Boy Gunner TV. He was in the chat earlier. You can catch me on his channel more often than not. Also, Coach's Corner. Hanno was here. Oris Talks Football, obviously. And then Up the Cherries in all departments. And I don't have time to name the other channels, but there are several other wonderful channels where I've been a part of. Obviously, they are quite special to me. If they don't, there's a check in the post waiting for them. But I have to start right, of course. And I hope you all enjoy this Monday and the midweek Premiership action taking place. Other sporting action, of course, there will be some amazing cricket from the Antipodes, Australia, India, and New Zealand, England, of course. And even more sporting action, of course, coming up this week. And, of course, it is the start of the Advent season. So officially say Merry Christmas to all of you. And I hope you all have your Christmas trees up, whether or not you're celebrating. If you don't observe the Christmas tree, that's fine by me. And nothing much else except to say take care of yourselves, be safe, and be happy. Do unto others you have others do unto you, and don't do anything that Mr. B or I wouldn't do. Until then, farewell to thee, and God bless to all of you. And don't forget, Jay's back. Please let him speak for a few minutes. All right, Steve? Cheers,
Yes,
everyone.
Yeah, cheers, my friend. Thanks for coming on. Brilliant as usual. Thanks, Manny. Take care. Have a great one, mate. Probably see you later on the cricket stream with Hanno off to the boundary. That'll be on later, guys. But I'll bring AK on for. We'll only have a little while, mate. Just a few minutes to your opinion on City, because I want to end this, mate. So we've gone over 2 hours. I wasn't going to do that, but AK, mate, how you doing, my friend? All right? Won't talk to
big up Steve. Big up Steve. Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, cool, mate. Yeah, cool. Yeah, because it's about to end this, really, but I want to have your opinion on City, mate, as you've been a City fan. Want to hear your opinion on the situation.
Where do I even start? With my club? I mean, yesterday's performance, shambolic. We showed character on the pitch, but at the end we didn't win. And again, another loss in a row for Pep Guardiola and for Manchester City as well. So yeah, things are not looking good. We're in the mud, and I can't wait for January to come and start the rebuild.
Yeah.
And this rebuild should start now, because our players, I think, have no energy. They have no fight in them, and I think it needs to happen. I don't care. It needs to happen. We've got the 200 million pound war chest. Splash it. Get the players that we need. We need a rebuild. We need a serious rebuild. We need a massive clear out.
Yeah. Who would you get rid of and who would you bring in? Okay.
First, I'm going to start with getting a backup DM to Rodri, because Rodri has been asking for help last 2 seasons. And the board completely ignored that, thinking that, maybe if Rodri doesn't get injured, we can actually do well.
Yeah.
If he's in this form. But, injuries, and of course, injuries happen to the best of players, but it did happen to Rodri. And yeah, and I've been saying this, summer, the previous summer was our time to actually start a proper rebuild. But our board again made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Really bad decisions. I mean, you get Doku on, who has only been good for like half a season, and then after recovering from that injury, he's done. And then we brought in Savinho, who actually impressed me. He has impressed me, but his finishing definitely needs work. But yeah, it's dark times, and this is a message to all these fake fans. Yeah, that to all these fake fans in my stadium. If you can't support us during our dark times, please leave. Please. Because we don't want this toxic, negative behavior in our fan base. We don't want that. And you lot are the ones that are getting tickets to watch the games, you lot are actually lucky to watch City play. You lot are lucky. Count yourselves lucky, yeah. But when it comes to backing the club at the darkest times like these, I am disappointed. You know what? Get out. Get out. The lot of all of you. Get out. I'm sick and tired of you lot not getting behind the manager, not getting behind the boys, not getting behind the management. What's this? Nah, I'm done. I'm done.
Because really, this is the first time you've had a bit of failure, really, isn't it, with Guardiola since he's been manager? You haven't really been through this, have you, at all? You know, you've had all the highs, mate, and hardly any lows, but you're getting all the lows now, buddy, you know? Seems to be the thing. Can you turn it around, though?
I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, it all depends on the January transfer window. January transfer window is a must. It is a must. And we need people. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to take that back. But what we need in the January transfer window are potential, actual replacements who can help us win trophies and who can help us dominate football again in the long run and get the money out and get the players, because we literally can't keep on playing like this. We can't keep on playing injury prone players time and time again. When do we ever learn from our mistake?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. But who would you bring in? Have you got anyone in mind you would bring in? Any players you would get in?
I would bring in 2-3 players. First of all, I'm thinking my first priority is a DM. And our options are Zubamendi, Edison from Atalanta, and Ricci from Torino. So yeah, but my favorite pick would be Zubamendi. Zubamendi, this guy has got a 50 million pound release clause in his contract, and if we can't pay them, and if we can't get any of the other options, then I don't know what to say. If we don't get any of them lot through the door, then that's it. Count the season out.
I mean, could this be the first season for, was it the last 4, 5, 6 seasons you've won pretty much everything? Could this be the last?
Yeah, six titles in 7 years.
Yeah, man, that's incredible, isn't it? Magnificent, man. Awesome. But, you know, could this be the first season where you don't win hardly anything? You could still win the Champions League, FA Cup, even. Would you still take?
Steve, with the way we are going at the Champions League, we actually had that Feyenoord game under control. If we didn't concede those 3 goals, we actually had a chance. But again, we capitulated. Our defense once again proved that why we need work. We need work on that defense, and that's why we need a right back. We need a Kevin De Bruyne replacement. And I think we need an Edison replacement as well.
Yeah, Kyle Walker's finished, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, he's finished. Look, I don't know why people are still insisting on Kyle Walker to play. don't people see that Kyle Walker is losing his pace?
Mm,
He's losing
definitely.
basically his peak form,
Yeah, man.
and yet people still want to play him. No, 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 no. If I were the manager, if I were the board, I would go out and get a replacement.
Mm. Well, definitely. You have to get one for sure. Yeah, it's not looking great. I mean, you're missing Rodri as well, for sure, aren't you?
Yeah, and Rodri has been crying out for help. He has been crying out for help, but then the board ignored it, and they decided to keep on playing him, and instead as a backup. I mean, look, I'm not against Gundogan or Kovacic. These two are talented. These two are actually the best that we have, but Kovacic, I've seen in many games, he can't play that DM role. He can't play that DM role like Rodri used to. But
Yeah.
again, like I'm saying, this the previous summer transfer window
Mm.
proved that why we didn't act.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this is all I'm pinpointing on. I'm pinpointing on our transfer window last summer. I'm pinpointing on the lack of support. I mean, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah.
And although I want my team to keep winning, I want my team to keep dominating. But again, I mean, we had
Mm.
to stick with the team through these dark times, and I will do it. I will do it. I will keep backing. I'll keep backing my team. I will keep backing them every single game. But if this string of losses keep going, then serious conversations need to be serious conversations need to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. What you see happening next then? You got, I think it's Forest now on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
We got Forest, and then we got in the Champions League we got Juventus and we got PSG. These are must-win games. If we don't wake up now, then kiss our season goodbye.
Yeah. Can you see yourself like slipping up against Forest? Could you slip up there when
I'm
you're at
uncertain
home?
about that. I mean, I'm uncertain about Forest. I mean, I'm
Mm.
uncertain about Forest with the way they've been, with the way their results have been going. I mean, yeah, Nuno is getting the players to
Mm.
ball out. I mean, like Nuno is actually doing a decent job with Forest, and I don't know about the Forest game, but if we do not capitalize now, then I would say it's Liverpool. I would say the title goes to Liverpool.
Yeah. I think already it is. I think it already is, mate. I really do. I'm sorry to say that, but I do. I just see something now internally there at City that don't look right. Doesn't seem right. Guardiola's looks like he's having almost like a breakdown now. I mean, you see him the other day with all them scratches over his head.
Pep's having a mental breakdown,
It
scratching
seems,
himself. And I'll guarantee this: he will start scratching his eyes out.
because he hasn't had much failure in his career, has he? Really, he hasn't
No,
really.
I mean for the first time in his career, yeah, I would say this is another one.
Because what was he as a player? He was good. He was great when he was a player. He was at Barcelona and teams like that.
And then he managed Barcelona. He managed Bayern. In Bayern, in Bayern, he also got that. He also won trophies. He won trophies at Barcelona. He won trophies at Bayern, and he's won trophies at my club. But now, as much as I love Pep, as much as I love my manager,
Mm.
I think I think he needs to sort things out. He needs to sort things under the transfer window. He needs to.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I was shocked when he signed that new deal. I thought this could probably be his last season with City. And then he signed that new deal, and now it seems to have gone from bad to worse. It's sort of, since he signed that, everything's gone to shit, basically, hasn't it? Should he have signed that, really? I mean, should he have said, well, maybe the time's up. Maybe I've had enough time. I've done enough. I've run everything. But these managers try and carry on. Like Wenger was another one, wouldn't he? He couldn't give it up with Arsenal, even though his time.
He could. Yeah.
And
I would say, Steve, I would say two seasons, two more seasons. I would say just this year and one more year. I mean, like, he's basically signed a contract for 2 years, so he's gonna. I think he's gonna see the end of his contract and leave.
Do you think it's a good thing, though? Because would you have had a different manager in? Who would you have had as manager at City?
Me, I would rather take Xabi Alonso or Inzaghi.
Two great managers. Two great.
Yeah, two great managers, yeah.
Yeah. So if it did happen, right, because it could still happen, they get rid of Pep. They're not happy with him now, what he's doing, and they get rid of him. Could you see him appointing one of those two?
Yeah, I could see it because Pep has already won enough for my club. Pep has put us in this position. In this position, I mean, in a good position. Like, we won 6 titles in 7 years. We did the four-peat. We did the Centurions. We achieved the treble. He's put us on and I will thank him from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. Well, he got to, isn't he? He's achieved everything there, and he saved you, really, isn't he? I mean, okay, you did win things before. You had, I think it was Mancini, and you won stuff under him, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We won stuff under Mancini. We won trophies under Pellegrini.
Yeah. But they didn't do, obviously, what Pep's done. They weren't as good as that, were they?
No. They weren't.
So, you owe everything to this man. But the thing is, now he's going, it seems to be on a slippery spiral, going downwards. And it's such a shame, isn't it? When it seems to happen, when you least expect it. These big managers, big players, they suddenly go on a slippery slide downwards, don't they? And, it's hard to believe. And, it's horrible. But I'd hate to see him go, but there you go. It's I kept saying he should be England manager. I always kept saying that. I'd love him as England manager, but now obviously we've got Tuchel anyway. But yeah, what do you think will be next for him if he does go? What could you see him going back abroad to manage?
I think he'll go to probably, I think he'll probably go to USA. I think he might go there and just live his life of retirement, or go probably manage a small club.
Yeah.
But again, I owe everything to this man for what he's done for my club. I
Well,
owe my life.
Yeah, he's got you success again. Being successful and winning all these things and being above everyone else, dominating and whatever. It's been amazing, isn't it? A few years that you've had all this. So, but it all obviously comes to an end, unfortunately, doesn't it?
7 years of domination, Steve. 7 years of domination.
Mm.
We took the football world by storm.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that. And this will be a moment cherished in my heart.
Mm. Well, I always think the big moment for me was that Aguero thing. I always remember the Aguero, against QPR.
Yeah,
Aguero!
Balotelli. Aguero!
Remember that, that was incredible, wasn't it, when you won that 3-2. What a game that was, incredible.
Yeah. Zabaleta, Dzeko, all netting in, and then the winning goal, Aguero.
Yeah, what a player he was, wasn't he? Incredible player.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he still playing anywhere, or is he actually retired now? Do you know?
No, I think he's living his life of retirement.
Because he had that health thing, didn't he? A health problem.
Yeah,
didn't
the
he?
heart condition. Yeah.
Yeah. Such a shame, mate. But he's a fantastic player, superb. And he got you plenty of goals, didn't he, at City? So, yeah, amazing. It's a shame when these things sort of come into an end. Do you think it really is that bad now? Do you think you are going to end up with hardly anything this season? Is the empire crumbling, do you think, at City?
I don't think the empire will be crumbling. I mean, at the moment, we are in a rough patch. We are in a rough patch where we're having difficulties, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it all depends. It's all down to the January transfer window whether we are serious enough to sign players or not. But yeah, let's see in January.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. By the way, sorry about earlier. Obviously, I had Manny on, and I was trying to get through all that earlier, and then bring you on, to talk about City. And then, of course, you didn't. You left for some reason. I don't. Oh, you said a call or something. But so unfortunately, I was going to wrap up. I was trying to wrap up just then when you came on, but I thought, no, I'll get you on because I want to hear your opinions, on City. So.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad, and I'm glad that I managed to come on and give my honest opinions on where we are right now. And yeah, this is it. We have to act. We have to seriously act now. If we do have a chance of again dominating football.
Well, no doubt about it. I think you will. I think you will come back, man. I really do. You're too good a team, and then you've had a great manager. Whether he sticks, whether you win anything under him again. I mean, if he's still there for another 2 years, did you say, or another year? Then he may come back again with better players. Because you're going to get rid of some, as you say. Some are going to go, and you're going to bring more in. So, you're going to have high caliber top players again, and I'm sure you're going to win things again. There's no doubt about it. So, you don't become a bad team overnight or a bad manager. So, yeah, you're definitely going to come back from this, mate, definitely.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. It may be next season, as you say. You might not win much this season now. I think next season, though, if you do get those players in, you're saying you can get them in. I think you're going to do it, fella.
Yeah, we are going to do it. We are going to do it. It's high time.
Yeah, man. Anyway, do you want to shout your socials out there, AK? Where can we find?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into, I don't have a YouTube channel, but I do hop on some stream. I mean, I do hop on to a lot of streams and give my honest opinion and but yeah, I mean, I do have an Instagram. I do have an Instagram account, so yeah, you guys can just find my Instagram account, aka CW City, and I do hop onto these call-in shows. I'm on Orists as well. I'm on I'm actually on so many channels, but yeah, you can find me there. And yeah, bless up to all of you in the chat. Take care and enjoy your Monday.
Yeah, cheers for that, fella, and probably see you on other streams in the week. I mean, if you're going to be on Orist, are you going to be on there on Friday? No, I think he's doing the prediction show again or whatever.
At what time?
I think it might be 8 o'clock, I believe.
Oh, actually, I have work till 10 on Friday.
No worries, bro. But yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to get on something else. Got a cricket one on later if you're available on Hanno's. You know Hanno, his
Yeah,
channel.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Off to the boundary. We're doing one on there, cricket one, me, him, and Manny again. I would think so. If you're available, you're welcome on that, mate. You know, I think it's about 6 o'clock. We're doing it, so you know, you're around then, you're available then. You can definitely come on, bro. You know, if you're available. Well, that'd be great. But thanks for coming on, as I say. Anyway, that was brilliant. I know we was only a little bit of time at the end, but it's still great. And you know, I hope you do turn it around at City, man. You know, they're a great team, still a great manager. And I hope you do turn it around. I really do. You know, I know we make jokes about your stadium, the empty head and stuff, but, you know, it's, you know, you've dominated for so long and, you know, it's hard to get over that, isn't it, to finish with that. You think it's going to last forever, don't you, almost? And when it comes down a bit, when it collapses, you don't expect it, and you think, oh no, you know, where did that come from? Out of the blue, you know. So don't get down disheartened, mate. You know, I think you're going to come back. So you won enough stuff that, you know, try let someone else get them for a change. You know, isn't that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I think Liverpool are probably going to win it this season. I really do now, Premier. You know, you're still in the Carabao Cup as well, aren't you? Are you still in that?
Nah, we got knocked out by Spurs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because we're in that. So I was going to say, let us try and win that, you know. I want the Bees to win it, you know.
Yeah, and I think mostly we're gonna win an FA Cup at the max.
Yeah, I wonder if we might get you in that. That'd be amazing, you know. We get you in that. But yeah, I remember that time we beat you twice, AK. You know. Yeah, man, you were champions and we beat you twice. The only team to do that.
Oh my god, that was a nightmare.
No, man, I loved it. I loved that. You know, we beat City, the only team to do it and beat them twice. You know.
Yeah.
Incredible, man. And you had all that time when Haaland hadn't scored against us. You remember that as well?
Oh, I remember that. Oh.
He was on a long run and not scoring, and then he fucking scored. What was it? Was it last season or season before he scored against us? Last season, I think.
Yeah, last season.
He scored this season against us as well. Oh, fucking hell. You know, we're doing so well, man, without conceding. Haaland scoring against us, you know.
Yeah.
I think he was we was the only team he hadn't scored against, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, well, there you go. You got your share.
yeah, man. Yeah, but yeah, and what a great win for us the other day, 4-1. Kevin Shardy. Oh, brilliant. Old smooth operator, mate. Shardy, brilliant.
Oh, Leicester. Oh my God. I'm telling you, Leicester Leicester right now, I think with Rude. Yeah, with Rude.
Yeah, man.
I think they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna bounce back now.
They'll probably stay up now this season, I'd say. We're in there. But yeah, who did we say they got next? Trying to think on Wednesday, isn't it? Who are they playing again? Leicester. West Ham, isn't it? West Ham. West Ham.
Yeah, I think West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's going to be I don't know, going to be a few goals there, I reckon. Actually,
Yeah.
I think West Ham might just win it, but I don't know. They got old Flopper-Teggy there, haven't they? West Ham.
Yeah, Flopper-Teggy, innit?
Yeah.
That fraud.
Yeah, do you think he's going to go, mate? Do you think he's going to go, Flopper-Teggy?
I think he's going to get the sack. He's going to get the sack.
Yeah.
He's going to get it.
Yeah, for sure. And who else? Do you think Russell Martin could keep his job now or not?
Maybe he could, but I think West Ham are going to look at other options. Probably a Southgate. Who knows?
Oh yeah, well, that'd really take him down, wouldn't it? The Southgate there. Oh,
or a Graham Potter. Who knows?
Yeah. He's not exactly done too well though, Potter now, has he?
Or a Graham Potter. Who knows?
Yeah, he flopped at Chelsea, didn't he, Potter? He was shit there. But,
yeah, so maybe he could get the job there.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Definitely, man. 100%. But anyway, guys, we're going to call it a day now. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to get something to eat. I've done over 2 hours. I wasn't going to do 2 hours 38. So thanks to everyone that has been watching on live chat or playback or whatever. People in the live chat, everyone there. To AK, to Manny, thanks for joining me. It's been brilliant. Another great stream, and we've got content coming out. Be the preview for the Villa game. I can't find a Villa fan at the moment, but if I do, I'll have one on with me. Otherwise, I'll be doing it on my own. But that won't matter. I'll still
and I
do
have
that.
to head out as well. So yeah, take care, chat, and have a blessed Monday.
Yeah, cheers, AK. Are you going now, mate? Yeah, cheers. Anyway, thanks, guys. But as I say, and thanks to AK and to Manny and everyone else, as I say, there's plenty of content coming out. I've got a cricket one later on the Off to the Boundary about 6 o'clock. Hanno's Coach's Corner. Go and check that out. Brilliant. And Manny, of course, he'll be on there again. So thanks to him once again. Brilliant for coming on. And everyone enjoy the football and other sport that's coming out, that's on this week. As I say, the preview I'm doing for the Villa game, that'll be tomorrow. Hopefully be on doing preview again for the Newcastle game, which is Saturday. So try and find a Geordie fan for that. And obviously be going on Norwich stream, which is a football one as well, prediction one, probably on Friday. But thanks for now, guys. I'm going to go. I'm really hungry. I want to get something to eat. But I just want to say thanks once again. Thanks for all your support. But I'm out of here. I'm bouncing. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye. Bye.